Hey YouTube, and welcome to episode 9 of Kent Walks. This week I visit the village of Aldington and look once again at local history. From the Holy Maid to a cursed giant. The walk starts at the Aldington Corner by the Walnut Tree Inn, and there's plenty of roadside parking. From the pub, head southwest down Forge Hill, and before it sweeps right, turn left onto a footpath, the Saxon Shore Way. Follow this to emerge at Roman Road by Ruffin's Oast and turn right. Turn left on another marked path just past Church Lane, turning right after the church to continue past Lower Park Farm. At the road, turn left and soon right, leaving the tarmac to head west to appear at GOLDWELL Lane, just north of GOLDWELL Manor. Turn left and follow the road back to the main road, where we turn right back to the start. In the 19th century, an infamous gang of smugglers, the Ransley-led Aldington Gang, dominated the area. Their headquarters is said to be the Walnut Tree Inn, which doubled as a drop point for their illicit contraband. On the southern side of the pub up high is a small window through which the gang would shine a light to signal their associates up at Aldington Knoll. Their leader, George Ransley, initially worked as a ploughman and then a carter. Legend has it he took over the Aldington Gang following the Battle of Brookland in 1820. The gang grew larger and stronger and landed merchandise all along the coast from Rye to Deal. In 1826, part of the gang were caught on the beach at Dover, and smuggler Richard Morgan was killed. Later that year, Ransley was arrested on suspicion of murder by the Bow Street runners, but because the crime took place in the dark, Ransley avoided the death sentence and was instead deported to Tasmania. Going back to the walnut tree for a second, there is a story about the ghost of a man who was killed after a disagreement and thrown down the well at the pub. When this may have happened is unclear, so whether or not it's connected to the Aldington Gang is anyone's guess. Aldington was home to Sister Elizabeth Barton, born in 1506 into a poor family, and as such not much is known about her early life. At the age of 19, while under the employment of Thomas Cobb and his family, she became severely ill. Throughout her infirmity, she claimed she had ecstasies in which she had divine revelations, which she was quite open about. Some of these visions did in fact come true, and rumour quickly spread. Elizabeth regularly prophesied, many of them glorifying the Catholic Church, and because thousands believed her, she was considered a credit to Catholicism, and both Archbishop Warham and Bishop Fisher testifying to her spiritual life. The Catholic Church embraced Barton and provided her a placement into Benedictine St Sepulchre's Priory in Canterbury. In 1528 she met Cardinal Wolsey, the head of the Catholic Church in England, and not long after Henry VIII. Henry acknowledged Barton, but only as her prophecies then reinforced the present order. Her predictions advised against heresy and slammed rebellion at a time when Henry was attempting to eradicate Lutheranism and was afraid of a possible uprising or even assassination by his enemies. Well, that was until she forecast Henry would die a villain's death and that she had seen the place in hell to which he would end up should he divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Naturally, Henry got the hump with this, but because she was so popular, he knew it would not be prudent to do anything rash. So, several of his agents started rumours that Barton was participating in sexual deeds with priests and was mentally unstable. Her popularity soon diminished, and she was arrested in 1533 and forcibly confessed to being a fraud. Elizabeth Barton was publicly hanged and beheaded for treason at Tyburn, her body being buried in Newgate and her head impaled on a spike and displayed on London Bridge. It is locally believed that a giant lay buried and safeguarded by a curse, along with a sword, in Aldington Knoll. The then landowner desired to level the knoll, but couldn't find anyone in the village to actually carry out the work due to the legend. Eventually, he discovered a labourer from outside the village who was prepared to carry out the task. Sometime during the excavation, he dug up a skeleton and a sword, and promptly died. The landowner reinstated the knoll, never to be touched again. So, we're almost back at the car, and next week I'll be heading back west, and although the walk won't be the quietest and most tranquil, I do visit 2 historic sites that tell my favourite Kent story. So hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all future episodes. I hope you found it interesting. Feel free to like the video and comment if you have any suggestions.